Alright, so we had a few technical issues. Hi, it's just Jimmy and I. Something happened with our footage, we lost it all. We're going to try and re-record it now for your benefit, so please excuse us if some of this sounds like we may be repeating ourselves a little. Anyway, I don't even know where we're picking up from, so we're going to start with the indie games.
Yes, indie.
Yeah, so this was probably one of my favourite things at all the conferences, and especially from Microsoft, because I just enjoyed seeing games like Cuphead and, you know, Ashen, which was a New Zealand developer.
Yes, yes.
Aurora 44. That game looks amazing. Kind of like a Nino Kuni sort of style, almost. But, I mean, they only showed a trailer, so it's hard to get a sense of what the actual gameplay will be like, but it looked very interesting.
But you're quite into your indie games, though.
Yep.
Yeah, me not so much. But like, are all these titles here, are they kind of things that you'd be into, or will you actually play them, or is it one of those ones that you download and eventually 4 years later you'll play them?
And it sits there in my arcade library for No, I think a lot of them probably, because I'm guilty of that. But I mean, something like Cuphead it kind of reminds me of, it's like Ori and the Blind Forest. It's like it's a classic. Yeah. Already, like you can sort of see it, and I just know I want to play it. And it's something different. Like it's all hand-drawn art, 1930s sort of Disney style. So it looks like something different straight off the bat.
It does.
It does depend on when it comes out, of course. You know, I mean, you don't want to release anywhere near November. But is there a release date for any of this stuff? We don't really have it, do we?
Not that I can see. But like out of these indie games, we've got Tacoma, Ashen, New Zealand, Beyond Eyes, Cuphead.
Beyond Eyes looks good.
Yeah, Beyond Eyes does look good. Now that's about that blind girl, right? And
yeah.
She can't really see, but she can walk through the levels, and she hears. It's the sounds that she hears that paints the environment for her.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that one looked really cool. There was a cool point where she walked up to a dog and started barking at her. And whenever it barked, you could see it. But
see the dog sort
of walked away, and it kind of disappeared into the white.
Yeah, it was coming in and out.
Now that's what I like about the indie games when they have this kind of stuff. I find that indie games are more artistic, and they tend to take risks with their mechanics and stuff, which I see a lot in Beyond Eyes. And that's a female director, I think.
Yeah, well, writer, director, I think she's that lady, I can't remember her name, but the woman that came out on stage and presented it, it's her baby and her concept. And yeah, I mean, it's great that she's able to even get it made. It sounded like she just had some idea for this game and then went and did it. I wish it was that easy. I'm sure it's not.
It was cool. Going back to Cuphead though, that was the one that caught my eye, because that definitely had that old school Disney 1930s-ish. 30s-ish look, and that looked cool.
It's
like
great,
it all looked kind of that old Disney, but it looked like they couldn't.
Kind of thing, like it's a little fuzzy, and it's like, and it's not as it's sort of desaturated a little. The colors aren't quite as crisp. Everything's like old school. Like they've really, considering they're making that now, you know, they've really held true to what it is they're trying.
It didn't look like a game. It looked like a cartoon. Yeah. So I think there's something to look at. Not really my thing. Really.
Would you give it a go though?
I definitely give it a go.
We'll come around here and play it.
Or
I'll flip with gun to your head.
Oh yeah. I'll give it a go if my life depends on it.
Good to hear. What about Tacoma? Tacoma looks really interesting. That's the one.
I don't remember.
It's the one that's set in the space station, and it's by the same people that did Gone Home, which is the one that was only set in that house. And it was a PC.
I know that game.
Yeah, so you may not have had a chance to play it, but and you just got to find the story within the house by searching around and finding clues about what's been going on here. And as you find things, the story becomes apparent. And it looks like it's a similar concept. You're alone on a space station, and you got to figure out where the crew's gone while you're alone. What's actually happened or happening. So interesting. I mean, I love space stuff. There's a lot of space stuff though. I mean, Adrift, which looks phenomenal, and that wasn't even shown at any conference, was it? But that would have been on the game floor, no doubt. And that's another space one where the whole space station is just torn apart and you're like floating through it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Are they going to use that for like the Oculus Rift or the Morpheus?
It would be absolutely.
It looks like a VR game.
Perfect. Yeah, it would be perfect for it. I
heard it's really short though.
Yeah,
2-3 hours. I don't know, but I heard that it just has a short storyline.
It looks to me like it would be, though. Like, there's only so much you can do, right? Like, he's got his little nugget of a story that he wants to tell, set in this environment. I mean, there's only so far you can go within a broken, destroyed space station before it's like, there's nowhere else to go.
Well, I find with a lot of these smaller company, or even with the indie games, they don't really need a hell of a lot of story. It's just kind of, here you go, now go. And the story develops in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have an example? I'm trying to think of...
Oh, no, sorry. Journey.
Oh, yeah, like that
Yeah,
sort of
Journey.
thing.
It was just kind of like you just appeared and then you went towards a light.
Yeah, right.
And it wasn't... It was about its journey. It wasn't about the story itself. It was about how you got there.
Yeah, and good game because I never played Journey. I'm only recent to the PlayStation family.
It was really, really simple. I'd highly recommend it. But that's something for something else because we're talking about E3.
Of course. Tune in next week for our Journey... No.
The next one I had come up after these indie games was Ion.
Ion, yeah. What
do you
another
think?
space one?
Yeah, another space one.
More
Dude,
space.
that looked weird.
It did look weird.
Did you get it?
No. It seemed like it was just panning through all these different space stations,
Yeah.
and then it ended on some person in the fetal position, like on the floor.
Yeah.
And then that was it. That was our E3 sort of reveal of that game.
No, I don't get it.
No, and
I just know that it was from the creators of DayZ.
yeah. So
DayZ in space?
maybe. It's so hard. Like I hate it when people just show trailers and there's no gameplay. Like Recall looks great and it's probably an amazing game, but without an actual gameplay trailer and a sense of what the game is about, what is the point? I mean, okay, it's nice to get teased and get excited, and to know things are on the horizon.
But isn't it isn't it the questions? Like now you're like, what the hell is that? What the fuck is it? I need to know more.
I guess, like if it's... Because I do love space, right? So I guess it did pique my interests. And if there weren't this plethora of space games already coming out, then maybe I would be a little more excited for it. So, I mean, I just have to wait and see what they unveil next time, you know? What's next, you know?
We'll see.
What else was there? I mean, that was...
I mean,
there was heaps. You got another one?
This is a big one. But how about you do this one?
All right, that's what we're on to next.
Okay.
All right. This game is one of my favourite games of all time. Well, the character is Lara Croft. So we're obviously talking about Rise of the Tomb Raider, which has recently become an Xbox exclusive. Well, a timed exclusive. We don't know for how long. I'm picking it's going to be a decent time. I reckon 6 months to a year.
6 months?
Yeah.
I think 3.
Yeah, you reckon early next year?
Yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. But what do you think of the trailer?
It looked like what I was expecting, and it excites me, and I don't want to see any more. I just want to play it. Like the game looks fun. It looks like, dare I say it, it looks like Uncharted, but that's not a bad thing to look like. And it's like they're both borrowing from each other, because obviously Uncharted was heavily inspired by Tomb Raider. Not necessarily the gameplay mechanics, obviously, but at least the idea of adventure and Indiana Jones-esque escapades. So, yeah. Uncharted sort of borrows from Lara. Lara now borrows from Uncharted. It's this beautiful cycle that just brings us more beautiful games. You know, I can't complain.
Well, with that Tomb Raider, the first thing I think of is Lara Croft has got to be one of the most unlucky chicks in video game history. Like, she breaks her arm, she gets stabbed by arrows, and in the trailer she's running across trying to escape an avalanche and stuff. So it looks stressful.
Yeah,
it looks stressful and just playing with your emotions and stuff, and you get a lot of that in Uncharted as well, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about going on that ride again? Does that affect you? I just find like she's either the luckiest or the most unluckiest person.
It doesn't. It affects me. It affects me emotionally, as you say. Like I'm gripped to the control pad that I'm leaving fingerprint marks on it. You know, like I'm so in there with it. But like I'm able to sort of put myself into the characters, so to speak. Like, so I kind of, even though I'm playing as a chick, I do a lot of the times feel like it's me in there doing it and playing it. So I don't see her as being this battered, bruised woman who's, you know, all the stuff that people say about it. Like, I just feel like it's me. So it's like I know that sounds a bit odd. Now that I put that into real words, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like when you imbue the character yourself into the character or whatever.
Well, what are you looking forward to coming from, like, you played the first Tomb Raider.
Played every
and
Tomb Raider.
that was a very cool reboot.
Oh, one of the best reboots
It was
probably
really
ever.
good. It needed that revamp, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So how do you feel about doing a sequel, and also on top of that being a timed exclusive for your favorite console?
I totally get it, and I get what Microsoft are doing. They don't have an Uncharted. They don't even have really a solid action-adventure franchise, and that's what they're trying to establish.
But why not start their own? No,
I agree. I agree. But
we'll talk about that afterwards. But what do you think about playing a sequel to the Tomb Raider reboot?
I just hope that they can...
Because it has to be bigger, better.
Exactly. But
it certainly looked better in the trailer.
Yeah, it did. I just hope that they can still have a decent story in there and just keep it ticking along, because ideally what we want, and what Microsoft clearly wants, but what we want is another franchise like Uncharted, especially with Uncharted 4 closing. They've said that it's the last one. Mm-hmm. So I really want this game to just be successful so that we get a third one, you know what I mean? Like I want it to be a franchise.
It's usually in 3, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do another one.
Yeah, well, I guess it does depend, though, largely on the success of this one. The first one was very successful, so I'm pretty sure... because it comes out on the same day as Fallout, right? So it's got a pretty uphill battle this time around, and it's an exclusive to Xbox, so again, it's only going to half of the audience, and we all know there's like 20 million PlayStation 4s out there and only 10 million Xbox Ones, so it's not going to get the same reach that it had when it was the first game. And so that's where I say I hope it's as successful, because even if it's a good game, it can still not be successful, I guess, monetarily.
Yeah.
And that would worry me. Especially after such a successful reboot, don't fuck it up
now.
Oh,
no, I don't think you see the end of her. She's one of the most iconic video game characters. So most people know who Lara Croft is. Yeah. So even if it does fail, I'm sure that they could easily reboot it again somehow.
Yeah.
But from what we saw at E3 though, it looks really cool.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited for it. Great trailer, and they clearly love having Lara. Like, they opened the show with that screen with Master Chief, Fable Legends, Gears of War, Lara.
Yeah, with the Man of Steel music in the background. Did you catch that?
No, I didn't actually.
It wasn't because of Man of Steel. I was like, can they do that?
I guess so.
Oh, there you go.
Well, they clearly think Lara is theirs. So, what came after Rise of the Tomb Raider?
What came up next? I've got the Rare replay.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that actually.
Really?
I don't know if I'll get it, but I'm excited that something like that is on offer. I mean, it's just more content coming out this year, which is, something that Microsoft can toot their horn about, which you'll see soon Sony isn't really able to this year. So,
out of these classic games, though,
what am I interested in?
Yeah, what games are actually in there? There's 30 Rare titles in there.
And it spans 30 years, so no doubt...
30 years? Jeez.
I mean, no doubt they'll have an entry that sort of represents every generation as they sort of went through the ages.
So they've got games like...
I know that there's Perfect Dark, I know there's Battletoads, I know there's Viva Pinata, I don't know. Yeah, there's...
A bit of nostalgia?
For those who played Rare games, and I didn't... Yeah. The first Rare game I played was actually Viva Pinata. Shamefully.
Shamefully.
Shamelessly. Nah,
no, because a lot of those games there, like I missed them in my childhood.
Yeah.
But do you think it would be cool to go back to it might be cool to play those games and see the game developer Rare from the original titles, and then you can see their development getting better, and 30 games is quite a bit.
30 years is quite a bit. Developer that's lasted 30 years is almost unheard of. So it's congratulations to them, really.
Will you buy it?
Too much stuff. too much stuff, man. I've had to. My wallet is bleeding this year. It's just too much. But yeah, I mean, it's good offering from Rare. To be honest, the thing that they unveiled next was more exciting. The Sea of Thieves. It's like an exclusive.
Sea of Thieves, yes.
For Xbox, and which is a win, because they've actually got quite a few exclusives. I think Xbox tipped Sony in the exclusives category, not necessarily in terms of quality, because I think Sony had a couple of better ones, but I think Microsoft had actually... better quality IPs, new IPs. One in particular, which is, I think, probably game of the show.
Sea of Thieves, though.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
It looks good. Like, it looks like a pirate game, and we're all sort of enthused in that, I guess, after Black Flag, which was...
I saw it as another Black Flag. Like, I've seen this before.
More cartoony, though, and an MMO. Because there were other people populated in that world. I
did see that in the trailer, but it looked like that you almost needed a fully crewed ship.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
which the idea seems cool, but then you need several friends to be able to...
Man.
I don't know if that's true, but, like, imagine you can't go out to sea unless you have a fully manned ship.
That would be interesting. I don't think they would be so restrictive, though. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know we've seen things like that recently in Destiny, where you can't go on a raid unless you can, gather your crew.
Well, you could still do it, but like it was just a tad bit harder.
That's right, you could actually, yeah. Whereas you couldn't really sail a boat by yourself. I mean, let's be honest.
Yep.
So I don't know. Yeah, it looked a little kiddie. I need to see more of that game before I can pass an actual judgment. But I am excited that they're making something new.
Yeah. I think the idea, if it is like a fully crewed ship, I think the idea of having those... Because they were showing these boats in full
warfare,
cannon battle. Yeah. And that looked pretty cool. And I guess the idea, if you could work as well in a team to be able to pull that off, that'd be cool. But when you see something like Assassin's Creed Black Flag, where all it was just yourself and all you had to do was press one button. Yeah. So it depends on how they play it. How it comes out, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure. Well, I guess we'll see.
Just another title.
Yep. And then what have we got after Sea of Thieves?
I've got Fable Legends.
Oh yeah. What else have you got after? No, I mean
not Fable Legends. I don't know what it is. It's because it's not it's Fable Legends in the universe, but it's not a Fable game.
Yeah, it's not a role playing game. It's like this 4v1 battle arena style game, and it's interesting. And I guess I just don't know why Fable had to go there. To be honest, like Fable had its thing. It had its it's like Oblivion suddenly deciding to be a first person shooter. It's like, huh? All the fans sit back and go, well, I wanted to play the old game that I know and love, that I'm a fan of, that you're now just going down this other path.
So they're just changing it?
They're just totally changing it. It's not the Fable that we all know and love, but really. It's different.
Does it have the same effect as if you like the Star Wars universe? So will it draw in people just because it's Fable?
Yes.
Yeah?
In that sense, it actually will, because if this game came out as it is, with all the stuff we've seen about it, and it wasn't Fable, it certainly would have less legs to stand on. So I guess they knew they were able to how it's kind of like putting the Mario sticker on things like Nintendo does. They know it's going to help push it out the door.
Next up, bro. Did you enjoy this? I thought.
Okay, this is one of the moments of the whole thing. I believe
it was pretty cool.
We're talking about the HoloLens experience that got unveiled, and no other real proper VR experience was shown. Like, Morpheus was a little underwhelming, really.
There's a reason for that.
We'll get into that, obviously. And I can't wait. But the HoloLens stuff, I think, it blew us away, really. Because nobody freaking expected it to look and work that damn good. Like, when they projected it on the wall, that's what we were expecting. We're all like, ho-hum. And then he turns around and puts it on the frickin' table, and suddenly we're inside of it, and we're actually... that blew my mind. That was stuff of the future.
It looked really cool. It almost unbelievable. I think like the opening it up on the wall and then putting it onto the table, and then you could have somebody else playing through it as well. It looked really well done. I feel like I still have to see it though, because it seems a tad bit unbelievable. To me, it seemed too sharp.
It did. It almost worked too perfectly.
Yeah. It was really good. And we're always going to have you're always going to have your drawbacks and your bugs and things like that. But if it works that well, that's a cool mechanic to play with.
Well, on a side note to that, because it wasn't shown during the conference, but it was something that was on the game show floor that you could do, which was the Halo experience with HoloLens, where they actually went inside. And they went around like a war room around the table, and they were able to see like they were basically given a briefing in the Halo universe.
Yeah.
And so they're all seeing it all unfold on the table, all the graphics and all the objectives and strategies and things like that. And apparently it was one of the moments of E3. Everyone who actually got to wear this HoloLens and do the Halo experience.
To see this thing.
They walked out saying, that was my experience of E3.
And that's what I think seems really cool about the HoloLens is like, because I know they showed it off with Minecraft and stuff, and that seemed cool. Minecraft isn't really my thing.
No.
But turning it into something else, like one of the boys mentioned last week about possible using it for like Yu-Gi-Oh cards or top-down kind of gaming.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that seemed really cool. Or like for
you're playing Magic or something.
Yeah, Magic,
or Warhammer or something.
Warhammer.
You can see it all.
Battlefield 4, when they do the commander mode, it's just kind of this top-down, and then like if you could actually see the battlefield, and then you're giving ammo and air support to certain guys on screen. I think that way it could be really useful.
Yes,
and a lot of fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what it should be doing. I mean, no doubt it'll go there. I almost feel sorry for it because as cool as it was, I believe that HoloLens thing that we saw was probably actually the thing of the whole show, but underwhelmed or brought back a little because of the fact that they were showing Minecraft.
No, not necessarily. Because I think of anything to show off, like.
Can you imagine if they showed something really freaking cool though?
Yeah. But I thought the Minecraft thing was really well done. Like it was the graphics are simple. It's really colourful. I think it's a good way to show it off.
But what about if they'd just shown what you just said though? Like they'd done Yu-Gi-Oh and they'd done the commander mode and showed you all of that, man. You'd have to change your undies and change your mind about what the.
I'd probably lose my shit, but probably wouldn't need to change my undies. But like,
well, if you lost your shit.
But the idea of it I thought was really cool, and I think with these E3 shows, like it's very innovative, and this kind of step that we're kind of venturing into with VR and this HoloLens, if they do it right, I think they've got something in their hands.
Yep.
So I think it would be really cool. They have to be able to make it work with several people, I think, for it to you were saying that they showed that Halo experience with several people, so they could do it with.
Yeah, there was a group of them, and they said the only drawback was it's not all around you. It's like a screen.
Yeah.
And so what you see in the screen is AR, the augmented reality or whatever, and wherever you turn is what you see, and it's cool. It's like looking through a window.
Okay.
And it's not that small, obviously, because it's like here. It's like it's in front of you. But he said that they were saying that their peripheral vision was they could see other people there, and they could see the edges of things that weren't within the hologram.
Okay.
But
I don't know, like
complaining about what I mean. Honestly, it's like getting given a Ferrari and you complain about the color.
Yeah, yeah, good analogy. But no, do you think there's something you'll check out?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely pretty keen, especially after hearing about the Halo experience. It's still new stuff, and we saw how the Kinect was clearly adopted. As we all know, it failed, and it didn't fail in terms of its tech and what it was trying to do. It failed in terms of its adoption and people actually wanting the bloody product. And it's a shame because I think it could have been something special. And it would just suck giant balls to see that happen to HoloLens. And especially if people just decide to embrace Valve's VR thing instead, or they choose to embrace Morpheus, or they choose to embrace Oculus Rift, which Microsoft actually partnered with Oculus Rift. So they're on board with that for their Windows platform. It would be interesting.
Just from you saying that though, what I wouldn't want to do is like putting on my Oculus Rift and then taking that off to put the HoloLens on and then.
Well, I'm interested to see where Oculus and Microsoft go, because if they do have this partnership, and also Windows 10 is going to be working with Xbox Ones in the future, and you're going to be able to stream games from your Xbox One to your PC and stuff like that. I don't see why you can't have your Oculus Rift connected to your PC, which is streaming your Xbox One game, and suddenly you've got your VR experience.
Oh.
Which
I guess we'll see how it.
But then why would that? Yeah, well, but the HoloLens is a different technology. It's the AR, not the VR. So there is that distinction.
Augmented reality.
Yeah.
Steps in the right direction. I think it'd be cool.
And great steps for Microsoft as well, because it was a huge leg up on them to be able to show their tech and show it so well. Especially when, as we'll get into soon, we saw Sony try to show off some of their Morpheus stuff, and it really did not do the same for us as HoloLens. I will
tell you why.
And we're
you
about, and I
fucking
can't wait.
Whatever, Dick.
All right, so then I guess we're going to close this with what? Yeah, Gears 4.
Gears 4.
Sorry, you want
God
to say
of
that,
War
you say it.
4.
No, it's not God of War.
God-
It's Gears. It's Gears of War 4.
Gears of War 4. What do you think?
I was very surprised to see it,
Yeah.
to be honest. I didn't think this year was going to be a Gears year.
Yep.
And so not only the surprise of seeing it this year, but the double surprise of them saying it's coming out next year.
Okay.
So, interesting. Good.
Well,
Great. Happy.
Gameplay
too.
yeah, well, being somebody who's I didn't really play the Gears of War franchise. I think I may have played the first and maybe the second one was with you.
Yeah, I think
I don't really remember them. That's how much they kind of impacted me. But they were fun. We did the co-op,
the
campaigns
totally.
and stuff, and it was cool. But being somebody, because why would I buy Gears of War 4?
I honestly, I don't know, because it looks great. Like, it looks fun. It looks like more of the same. It's been a while.
In the trailer, they had gameplay. It seemed very dark. They had different characters in it as well.
Yeah. I don't think Marcus Phoenix is coming back. I think we're following new COG members this time around.
Do you think it's a bit of a revamp?
Oh yeah, because it's a whole new developer coalition. Are taking over the reins now, and they're putting their stamp on it. They're going to be telling their story. No doubt it'll be a trilogy, and it'll be their trilogy.
Yeah, bringing back the franchise, which is good. Which was there anything in the trailer that you liked?
Yeah, I loved the voice acting and the mocap. I could clearly see that was looking good, and I enjoyed the mood. Because clearly that sort of level was probably a darker, more moody level. But the thing that I really enjoyed actually was the monster. I thought that monster looked freaking awesome.
Or was these those little dog things with
the
little tentacles out of their mouth?
Yeah, just look cool. I want to shoot one of those.
I liked its dark tone in terms of they were hunting this one thing, and then, but I also there was a storm kind of hit them midway through, and there were wind blowing, and they tried to escape, and then a bridge got taken out and stuff.
That's right, and it's clearly going to be something I would say that's thematically throughout.
Yeah, because are they still on Earth? Or are they on a different map?
Actually, it's funny you mention that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
because I saw there was a bit where the camera panned out and there was like a flaming tornado or some molten tornado in the distance.
Yeah.
I didn't know, and they had to get inside because of it. But it didn't seem.
I think they're on a fictitious planet.
Yeah.
Now that, crikey. Yeah, it goes to show how much Gears lore I freaking know. I'm more of the Halo man myself, but
don't try to save yourself. But there was a Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So
Yes.
they're redoing the first one.
Only the first one. Yep, 1080p.
Only the first one. Why?
60 frames because they realise that there's plenty of people out there like me who don't really know the franchise.
Yeah.
And they don't want to invest too much money in case we only want to buy one.
Are they doing a complete remake of it, like they did with Halo 2 in the Master Chief Edition, or is it just like an HD?
I think it's just an HD touch up, probably something similar to
Well,
what
why not
happened
do-
with Final Fantasy X.
Well, why not do all of them then instead of just the one? Because
I would say,
like if they're trying to bring back, I guess the Gears of War franchise with Gears of War 4, and then why only do one? Like, what if I want to get into it now for someone who hasn't played it?
absolutely
What the
agree.
fuck?
It's bizarre, but I would say it's actually as simple as probably just time and resources.
Yeah.
They clearly want to get Gears 4 out there. That's more of a priority. And they do know that these HD remasters are kind of pissing half the people off and pleasuring the other half, sort of thing. So but they do realise that something like Gears 4 would pleasure everyone.
In saying that, I just saying with they're doing the revamp of the Ultimate Edition, I just remembered that earlier we were saying that they do the backwards compatibility. So will they?
Oh yes.
What's the point of doing all of them if it's going to be backwards compatible? Do you think that might have a?
Yes, it very well could. I mean, if you think about it, they could have been in development to try and do all three of them, and then Microsoft sort of came up and went,
backwards compatible.
we're doing this thing. Don't put too, because Microsoft really wants Gears to be a huge franchise. I think they've helped form Coalition so that they can bring Gears back for Microsoft.
Well, it's one of its several exclusives.
So it wouldn't surprise me if they were in there and they were able to say, look, we're going to announce this backward compatibility. We've been working on it for a year. Stop putting resources into Gears 2 and Gears 3.
But we've already made the other ones.
Yeah, okay. Release that one. Get people hyped. It's a Gears game this year. I mean, we don't know, obviously. It's all bloody theories, but...
Is the Ultimate Edition good enough for you to want to revisit it?
No.
No?
No, I've
But 4 is the new one.
I'm keen for
Well,
oh yes,
Yep.
I will definitely get Gears 4 because it'll be all class. It'll be there won't I don't think there'll be as many AAA titles next year on Xbox.
Yeah.
You know, there'll be like Quantum Break and that. You know, I'm not really interested in Crackdown, and Scalebound's yet to prove what it actually is to me.
What about Microsoft closing with
Gears.
Gears?
Huge.
Yeah.
I would have suspected.
Well, you hit you
Halo.
from left field though. You were saying.
Totally, yeah. I did not expect to see Gears, let alone. Well, I guess it's a big one that they would close on. It makes sense, and it's their surprise. But yeah, I would have thought Halo would have been there, like in much the same way that Sony closed with Uncharted. I would have suspected that Microsoft would close with Halo. You know, they're the two biggest franchises of both companies. But you know, they opened with Halo, so what else are you going to do?
Fair enough. Bro, that's all I got.
So yeah, that's it was very good to see a showing like this from Microsoft. To be honest, they've been sort of flailing about for a while, and the last couple of E3s have seen them get their ass handed to them, and have seen them backpedal a lot on a lot of the things they've been trying to say that they wanted to do and they wanted to bring to the fore, and then they just go, oh, okay, you guys don't want it, fine, we'll change our policies and we'll change our systems and
Going back on their words.
Exactly, and so they've had a bit of a rough run the last couple of years, and especially with the launch of their new console. So I'm just excited to see them have a killer E3. I thought that was the best conference I've seen from them probably ever, especially in a long time, and especially following on straight off from the Bethesda conference that happened the night before. I mean, that's two stellar conferences in a row that have just really kicked off the E3 to the best way possible. And as you're about to see, like, we're just excited for the rest of the conferences because they were just as bloody good, you know. So
no, I agree. I think Microsoft did really well to bring back their fan base. I think, or at least get them excited to either come back. They pulled off some really cool moves. I think, and I think those are really good business moves, and they're actually listening to their fans as
exactly.
Well. So especially with this backwards compatibility and all that stuff.
Huge.
Like,
it's a huge announcement. Don't underestimate how huge that is. That opens up 1,000 games to their system now that Sony doesn't have on their system, you know, and they've got their PlayStation Now, which they're trying to push pedal to their fanboys, and you know, it's a paid service. So
how do you think they did though? Like, I know you think that
I think they did really well. I think.
Did they knock it out of the park? And
I think they knocked it out of the... I think they definitely have...
They came to play.
They've come to play, and they really set it up for Sony to fail. Sony... Well, they did. They set the bar, and Sony now has to come in and meet that bar or exceed it. But they've made it very easy for Sony to come under that bar because the bar they set was so fucking high. I really think they did a really good job. And also,
they did.
Having all these exclusive titles coming up this year... Halo and Forza and Rise of the Tomb Raider and Rare Replay and blah blah blah. Like, they've got a lineup that's hitting us now. So what's Sony got for us?
They came in guns blazing. Sony has some stuff. They have some stuff.
All right, well, tune in to the next breakout. We'll talk about the Sony conference and see what they have in store as well.
Cheers!